All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. And of course, we just finished with week 5 of the NFL. So what comes after 5? It's 6. So we would jump into week 6. Pretty solid week last week. We'll go over that in a minute. We went 8-6. One of the things that's been getting us all year has been this sort of trend where there's like 4 to 5 games every week where we have them right. We're looking at a great record. And then in the last, 4 or 5 minutes of the game completely flips. The team that was winning blows it in some spectacular fashion, and I get the game wrong. This week it was the Patriots blew a game at the end. I think there was a couple other teams. The Vikings almost blew it at the end. There's always a slew of the 49ers lost late. You know what I mean? So there's always a slew of games where had those 2 games gone the other way, I would have been 10-4, you know. Just it is what it is this year, right? So if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also make sure you leave your picks down below. Those really help the video out, and I also just kind of like seeing what people are thinking about, what they're leaning towards in their picks, how they're thinking about the week, what they think of my picks. It's always fun, you know, just to kind of keep track of everything. So put your record down there, your picks, blah blah blah. Leave a like, subscribe, blah 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 blah. YouTube stuff, you know how it goes. All right, like we said, we went 8-6 last week. Not bad at all, but keep losing on late games. Leads change. I wrote that bad. We're back to 500. So we're 39-39 overall, which isn't great, but it's not terrible considering kind of how weird this week has been. Week 2 and 3 was really bad. So there's a good luck burp. Oh, it's about to be a good week. We have 4 teams off again this week. That's already 8 teams that have been, off this year. That's like what? The 4th? Yeah. Order of the teams, eh? Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Vikings. Ugh. Kind of burpy this one. It's weird. But yeah, Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Vikings this week. So I don't know if you're a fan of those teams. Take the week off. Enjoy your other teams you hate losing. Hopefully your teams can get a little healthier too if you're a Rams or Dolphins fan. Chiefs as well, I think. Yeah, they're fine though. Thursday football. Let's get into it. We have the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. 49ers are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. Both teams coming off a loss. Seahawks had the Lions curse, and the 49ers division games can go pretty weird. This is that was one of the games I picked wrong, and I was bummed out the way it ended. I'm still going to go with the Niners here. With the Seahawks, I do like the way that their offense plays. I like the way that they've been able to move the ball. They've been very efficient with it. I don't know if they've played a defense that's as good as the 49ers can be and should be going into this one. Maybe, I don't know. I almost went with the Seahawks in this one, but I still feel like the 49ers have this sort of weird edge on the Seahawks usually. And we should get a pretty good defensive game out of the 49ers. The Seahawks gave up 29 to the Giants. They gave up 42 to the Lions. Again, the Seahawks defense seems to be quite easy to move the ball on. They seem to be easy to create offense against with all the injuries that they have. They're still dealing with a few guys, and with a short week, I don't know how healthy those guys are going to be if they're back. Like Murphy and their corners and the deep. Again, that's part of the reason why the Lions were able to beat them, why the Giants were able to beat them, is that defensive situation going on with Seattle. So even with the 49ers kind of having some injuries on offense, I think Jordan Mason could be able to have a big game. I think Purdy will kind of look a little bit better. So give me the 49ers due to the Seahawks health. And it's a short week. All right, let's go to 1 o'clock. We have the annual, home game for the Jaguars out in London. The Jaguars will take on the Bears. Bears are 1.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Both teams coming off a win last week. The Jaguars won their game against the Colts 37-34. They always beat Indy at home, not a surprise. And the Bears won 36-10, destroying the Panthers. Not really a surprise. With this one, I do feel like the Jaguars can get a crazy upset. The Bears are a pretty young offense, a pretty overall young team, new team, going across the sea, playing in this super new environment against what's going to be a pretty raucous crowd, very pro-Jacksonville crowd. This is going to be a basic home game for the Jaguars, despite the Bears getting the home designation, which is kind of weird. So we're going to see a lot of pro-Jacksonville people. Jaguars are going to be kind of playing hot. They scored a lot of points. Their offense looked really good. This could be, if the Jaguars kind of repeat their performance, one of the better offenses the Bears defense has seen, plus like if maybe the defenses break down, can the Bears offense keep up with the Jaguars, who do play pretty solid defense when things are working for them? I don't know. Because it's an international game and the Jaguars are very used to playing there, especially this team that they have constructed. This is usually a game Jacksonville kind of steals. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I think the Bears keep it very close. Bears look like a pretty good little team. They're going to be pretty good in the coming years if they don't blow it. If they don't mess this up. They look pretty solid though. That looks weird. I don't know why that looked weird to me. The Washington Commanders head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This is going to be a fun game. It's the Baltimore game, right? DC versus Baltimore. Fun. Ravens are 6.5-point favorites with an over/under of 52.5. Both teams are coming off wins. Yeah, that's right. The Commanders beat the Browns 34-13, and the Ravens beat the Bengals 41-38. The reason I'm leaning to the Ravens in this one, and I think a lot of other people are going to. Yeah, Washington's been playing very good. They've played great defense this year. But again, I think it's like the Browns, the Cardinals. You know what I mean? It's not exactly like they're beating up on teams with these super offenses. And now they're going up against a team that kind of seems like the future version of what the Commanders are turning into. Daniels is very similar quarterback to Lamar Jackson. Like there's the similarities are all over for these two teams. And I think because of that, I think the Ravens have this weird advantage of knowing how to deal with a team that is so similar to themselves like 4 years ago. So again, Baltimore should have these sort of, I know this is gonna sound weird, but they have like an inside track on how to deal with this kind of like the quarterback style. They know how to deal with that offensive style. They know how to deal with the Commanders defense. Again, because it's a very similar thing to what the Ravens ran a few years ago. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I'm overthinking this, but again, I see the similarities between these two teams in the way that Washington's kind of trying to build themselves up. Feels like they're trying to turn into a Ravens-esque football team, which is a good thing to mirror. But again, a lot of these wins for the Commanders have come against some like bottom feeders. They're good. They had the good win against the Buccaneers, I believe. But again, that was kind of the Lions' curse game. I don't know. I like the Ravens in this one. I think they'll be able to kind of tamp out what the Commanders are doing. They've been playing very, very good. But again, it's a rookie. They're going to figure out what he's doing. I think the Ravens is kind of like that game for him. I'll go with the Ravens here. Would I be surprised if the Commanders win? Not really. Arizona Cardinals take on the Green Bay Packers. Packers are 5.5-point favorites with an over/under of 49.5. Arizona Cardinals coming off the upset of the 49ers 24-23. Packers won 24-19. I'd imagine Packers win this game pretty handily. I'm pretty sure their offense will be able to score on the Cardinals defense. And the Packers defense will do enough to kind of push away the Cardinals and not let them run them over. Though I am a little worried for the Packers defensively because the Cardinals can score and they're kind of an explosive offense. And there are moments where the Packers defense doesn't look that great. So, I don't know. It's one of the things you might want to keep an eye on this week. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to regret not picking the Cardinals in this one because again, it's at home, so that'll help Green Bay. It's outside, so that's a little bit of an influence for Green Bay as well. Cardinals used to being inside; they're a dome team. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I feel like the Packers offense is a better offense than the Cardinals right now, and their defense is better. So I'm gonna be going with the Packers, very, very begrudgingly. Houston Texans take on the New England Patriots. Texans are 7-point favorites with an over/under. We're not the biggest underdog this week, with an over/under of 37.5. Patriots got cheated out of a win last week, but we're not going to talk about that. He was in bounds. I don't really understand why the rule changed all of a sudden. It's like, no, toe taps don't count. It has to be your full foot down. You have to dance in the end zone. You have to be able to do. You have to take 17 steps in the end zone for it to count. Specifically, in the subsection called the specific Patriots rule, where toe taps don't count in the end zone for some reason. Like, since when? We just made that up. Because I guarantee you, if this is a close game at the end, which it won't be, but what if it is? And Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, one of those three, make a toe-touching grab in the end zone. How much do you want to bet? I'm talking just straight, just like popped up, just like we did with Jalen Polk. I'm talking toes tap, and out of bounds. They're going to count it as a touchdown. We're going to challenge it, and it's going to be upheld. And we're going to look, well, it's going to be reviewed, and they're going to uphold it. And it's going to be like, well, we should have won last week then. And everyone's going to be like, no, it doesn't count. Da, da, da. Just wait. I picked the Texans, by the way. This will be a pretty good game. Tampa Bay takes on the New Orleans Saints. Bucs are 1.5 point favorites for some reason with an over-under of 42.5. Both teams coming off losses. I don't really pick against the. I don't really pick against. Sorry about the little pop up there. I don't really pick against the Saints at home versus the Buccaneers. There's like a bit of a magic voodoo thing going on there. Genuinely look into it. It's really crazy. Even the Saints were beating the Buccaneers with Brady at home. Like really bad Saints teams were just beating the Buccaneers at home for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. It's just one of them things. I'm going to pick the Saints. They're playing decent football. The Bucs are playing decent football, so that means the Saints are going to win this game. That's how I feel. I don't know. It's just some divisions are weird. They have weird things going on. The Cleveland Browns take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 8.5 point favorites with an over-under of 43.5. Yeah, the Browns are the biggest dogs of the week, surprisingly. Browns lost 34-13, like we discussed. Eagles coming off a bye. Eagles the home team. Browns literally almost are as bad as the Patriots at offense right now. Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles. This probably won't be that good of a game. The Browns literally can't play football, so I'm not sure what's happened to them. Colts play the Titans. Colts are 1.5 point favorites with an over-under of 43.5. Colts coming off that loss versus the Jaguars. Again, they always seem to lose down in Jacksonville. Titans coming off a bye, but the Colts seem to own the Titans. It's like a franchise thing. Titans don't really play the Colts too well. Titans, I think, don't really have that great of a football team right now. Indy has a pretty solid team, except for when they go down to Jacksonville. I think they'll be able to kind of shut down whatever it is the Titans are trying to do on offense and score enough points to kind of win the game pretty comfortably, but the Titans may keep it like weirdly close. I don't really care about that game. I don't think anyone does. All right, 4 o'clock football games. This will be a good one. Chargers taking on the Broncos. Chargers are 3 point favorites with an over-under of 35.5. Chargers are coming off a bye week, but this one's in Denver. Denver won 34-18, and it looks like their offense is slowly starting to get it, or at least slowly warming up. Their defense has been rock solid all year, so I kind of like that. That's one of the big things. Like the Chargers feel like they've been kind of inconsistent. The offense hasn't been super good yet under Jim Harbaugh and the adjustment. Maybe the bye week was what they needed to get right, but I think running into a defense like Denver is a little tough, especially when your franchise has lost 3 or 4 in a row to Denver. Maybe if this was in LA, I'd be going, oh, I'll pick the Chargers here. But since it's in Denver and Denver has a longer winning streak going on here, and they've been playing pretty good football, I'm going to go with the Broncos in a very close game. Boy, I'm going to regret that, I think. Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Steelers are 3 point favorites with an over-under of 36.5. Steelers lost 20-17 to the Cowboys. And by the way, I said it would be a 2016 game. Missed it by a point. Raiders got beat, like we just discussed, 34-18. The Raiders defense is pretty much non-existent this year. I thought it was going to be a lot better, so I could see the Steelers offense kind of having a decent day against a bad Raiders defense. It'll be much easier for them to move the football and do things against the Cowboys than it was against the Cowboys. And the Raiders do not have an offense as good as the Cowboys, so I doubt they're going to be able to put up 20 points. Basically, I just don't see the Raiders offense being able to do anything against the Steelers defense. And I don't really see the Steelers defense or the Raiders defense giving the Steelers offense too much of a fit like the Cowboys did. Not really a game. The Falcons are going to destroy the Panthers. Either way, Falcons take on the Panthers. Falcons 6.5 over under a 47.5. Both teams coming off. Well, the Falcons coming off a win, 36-30. They're the clutch team now. They win in dramatic fashion. So I'm going to take the Falcons. We can trust them again, I believe. They've started winning games. I think all 3 of their wins are walk-offs, and they almost had a 4th walk-off against Kansas City. So I guess we can pick the Falcons, especially when they play like the Panthers, who lost 36-10. Never pick the Panthers. New rule. All right, time for revenge for the Lions. The Detroit Lions take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions are 3 point favorites with an over-under of 52.5. Quite a lot of points expected here. Lions coming off a bye, so they're going to be well rested. They'll probably have a ton of the guys who missed the last game they played due to injuries. So they'll probably have Ragnow. They'll probably have a few other guys back. So they'll be a little bit more complete. Whereas the Cowboys, I'm not really sure what's up with Parsons and another one of their players. We'll see if they're back and how healthy they're going to be for this game. Again, the Lions play okay defense, so they could probably at least give the Cowboys offense a little bit of a fit. They've been pretty solid this year. Cowboys are coming off a super physical game with the Steelers that just happened. It went rather late. Not the end of the world. It was a Sunday night game. So either way, it's one of the things where you want to think about, right? Very physical game. The Cowboys are coming off. Lions come in well rested. Lions have this game circled. They want revenge. There's going to be an extra element of aggression from Detroit most likely in this game, especially considering the last time they played. And again, the Cowboys are missing a few pieces on their defense, so I would imagine the Cowboys or the Lions are going to take advantage of it. And even if they play, they're going to be not at 100%. So the Lions most likely would take advantage of that like they did against Seattle. So we could see Detroit's offense have a big day. I could see the defense making enough plays to keep the Lions offense ahead all game, kind of like they did against Seattle. Even if, even them giving up yards and stuff to the Rams in Seattle, Detroit's offense was able to do enough to keep ahead. And the defense kind of plays a bend, don't break, where they'll maybe give up the yards, but the scoring will be a little harder. I like Detroit to win this revenge game. Again, them coming off a bye, Cowboys coming off the physical Steelers. That's a big element, I think. So give me the Cowboys, or give me the Lions. Give me the Cowboys losing. All right, Sunday Night Football. We got the Bengals taking on the Giants. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 48.5. Bengals coming off a tough overtime loss, 41-38. And the Giants coming off a win against the Seahawks, kind of surprising, but again, not too surprising considering the Lions curse, where teams that play the Lions lose usually the following week, and they also kind of get beat up on, and they get blown out. This is a Giants blowout. 29-20 is the Giants blowing a team out in 2024. Either way, I like the Bengals to win this one. The Bengals offense seems to be back. I don't really see the Giants having a repeat performance like that again. Part of the reason they were able to do that was the Seahawks injuries on defense, the Seahawks being tired from the Lions game. So I could see the Giants kind of getting smushed out here. Easy win for the Bengals, I would have to say. Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have the Bills taking on the Jets. Bills are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 41.5. Bills coming off a loss, Jets coming off a loss. What is it, 2015 right now? I don't know why these two teams are on primetime. Ugh. I like the Bills here, though. The Bills have been playing pretty good offense this year. I mean, the Texans kind of shut them down and made them look bad, but I'm not really sure what that was about. And meanwhile, the Jets, they haven't really found any consistency. They look good against the Patriots, kind of. Other than that, they've kind of looked like shit all year. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look comfortable back there. There's no chemistry. The team seems off. The defense is all right, but it's still like letting things happen. The offense isn't being able to keep up and keep things close. Rodgers is making mistakes. I think the Bills win this game because of that. So can't take the Jets right now. I'll take the Bills. But yeah, that's about that for me. Hopefully you enjoyed the picks video this week. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We post these every week. We do other content and stuff like that too. Yeah, that's about it. That's the picks video. So, all right, cool. That's week 6. I can't believe we're already here at this point. We're almost halfway through the year. That's getting pretty crazy. But we're at week 6. Hopefully it slows down a little bit. We can enjoy it a little more. The games are starting to make a little more sense. The craziness of the beginning of the season feels like it's over. So at least we can only hope, right? Either way, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, morning, mid-afternoon, mid-evening, that time between 11 and 11:30. I don't even know why I picked that specific of a time range. But that time, focus on that. I don't know. Either way, have a good one when you listen. Take it easy. As always, it's go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots, even though we stink. Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Week 6 in the drain.